Hello friends, good afternoon. It's Guinea Kachina once again, and I'm back to give you a review of my stay at Web3 Bridge. Today I'll be talking about Solidity. We talked about Solidity in the past week, and I'll be giving you a rundown of what we learned during the week. So first of all, when we are instantiating a Solidity, we first need to indicate the license, because Solidity is an open source language. So we need to indicate the language. So we use the SPDX license identifier to identify the open source license we're using for the Solidity code. And then we need to talk about the compiler version we want our compiler to use when compiling the smart contract. That's where we talk about the Pragma Solidity line and indicate the version. Then we go ahead to instantiate our contract using the contract keyword, and then we put the name of our function and then our curly braces. Inside the curly braces is where the logic of the smart contract goes. Normally, every smart contract has both state variables, local variables, functions also. So I'll be talking about the state variables first of all. So the state variables are variables that store information in our contract. So after we have the state variables have different visibilities. We have about 3 visibilities for the state variables, which can either be the internal, the external, or the public. Then going down to our functions. Our functions also have visibility types. Our functions are just like the normal functions in any programming language, where we can put together a block of reusable code and give it a function name, so that whenever we want to call that logic, we can just call the function name. So our functions also have the visibility types, where we have the public, the private, the internal, and the external. So after that, we have the local variables. Yes. So the local variables are variables that are declared within the scope of the function. We can only use them within the scope of the function. Outside the function, they do not go. They are only created when we call a function. That is when a function is being executed. Then we also have the other data types. Like for the data types, we have the value types and the reference types. For the value types, we have our integers, which have the signed integers and the unsigned integers. We have the addresses. We have the string, although the strings are not really classified as value types. For the reference type, we talk about the struct, we talk about the enums and the mappings. So those are basically the reference types we have. So we also have the receive function. The receive function can be used to receive ether, for a smart contract to receive ether. So if a smart contract does not have the receive function, that smart contract will not be able to receive ether. We also have a fallback function that is fired whenever we make a call to a smart contract that is not a function in that contract. Then we will now fire the fallback function, which may also have a logic behind it. So for the visibility types, for the state variable visibility type, we have the internal, the public, and the private. So the public visibility enables anybody to call a function, or anybody to call that state variable. Whenever we declare a state variable and give it the public keyword, Solidity automatically generates a getter function for that variable. But if we declare it as a private type, then Solidity will not create a getter function for that variable. Then when a state variable is declared as internal, it can only be called by that contract and any smart contract that inherits it. Then we'll go ahead to talk about the the function visibilities. For the function visibilities, we also have the internal, external, public, and private. So for the internal, when a function is declared as internal, it can only be called by that function and any other function that inherits it. And when a function is declared as external, it cannot be called by that function, but then it can be called by other functions that want to call that function. It can not also be called by the child in a child contract inheriting that contract. Then when a function is declared as public, it can be called both by external functions or external people or POs and the function itself. So the function itself can call that function, and the functions that or the contracts that inherit that contract can also call those functions. But then when a contract is declared as external, it can only be called by other functions or other contracts when they call the functions. So we talked about a whole lot of things this week, and we learned a whole lot. It was very amazing learning and increasing my knowledge base on Solidity this week. I look forward to bringing you more content next week. Stay put and enjoy